Welcome to the Enlightened Entrepreneur Podcast, empowering a new generation of conscious business owners, healers, mentors, and coaches. Welcome, my enlightened entrepreneurs. It is a pleasure to connect with you as usual. Today I have a special treat because joining me for a discussion about tuning into your heart so that you can become a transformational teacher is Steinar Ditlefsen. He's from Norway, but today he's talking to me from Alicante in Spain. Steinar has been helping people in Scandinavia and beyond develop their skills as speakers, but not just any kind of a speaker. It's the speaker who wants to have that transformational impact on their audience. So he comes highly recommended, from sold out speaker workshops to a new transformational experience that we're going to talk about today. So Steinar, thank you so much for being a part of the Enlightened Entrepreneur.
Thanks for having me. I look forward to this. Andrea.
Well, I'm really excited to connect with you because obviously we have a lot in common. We are helping people lead from the heart as teachers and healers, and in particular to become better speakers. So I know that we're going to talk a lot about this new space of transformational teaching, which I love. But let's give people a little bit of background first. Talk to us about your style of teaching speakers, because I really find this powerful.
Yeah, I would love to. And first, Andrea, I just want to tell for your audience that, I've done seminars with some of the great master teachers alive today, like Michael Beckwith and Greg Braden, Bruce Lipton, many people, on stage with Brendan Burchard and other fantastic speakers. And what I always want to find or want to hear or feel when I see the speakers is this space that is underneath the words, the space that people can go into and feel safe, and the transformational space, or a spirit, or a vibration, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
And here's the cool thing. We the two of us, we have known each other for so long. But I saw a video where you talked about your journey and following your heart, moving to France. And, I have heard so much good about you from my friends in Scandinavia. But when I saw that video and heard you speaking about following your heart and following your soul purpose, I immediately knew here is a really transformational teacher. Because, many people can talk about these things, the purpose and the soul and the heart, and say very beautiful words about it. But sometimes you just feel something deeper. And I felt that when you talked about it. It's because you walked your talk, you lived your message, and that was the start of our relationship now. So I love that. And I just want to say that because I know that your audience also can feel that. And it's so important. This has been my quest for many years. I started as a public speaker. I was enthusiastic. I did all the techniques, and I had a lot of people coming to my seminars and my presentations. But I also saw sometimes that there is a difference. You can go on a conference and you listen to all these magnificent speakers, and they're so impressive sometimes. But then once in a while, a woman or a man comes on stage and everything changes. It's like, for some people, it's like they go home and something happened in me. Something I know sometimes, and I guess we all have had those experiences. We can, it's like there is a before and an after the meeting with that speaker. And actually, it's not the meeting with the speaker. What happened was, it was a meeting with me as a part of the audience. Sometimes people, they see all the posters, the ads, and they look forward to meet this transformational teacher. But the big thing for the transformational teacher, it's not that it is a big meeting with the teacher, but that the person got a meeting with themselves.
Yes.
While listening to the teacher. And that's a transformational teacher for me, because, you know, what we really want is transformation, change. And it's not only the words, it's what happens inside while listening to the words.
Yeah.
So I love to talk about transformational teaching. I saw you, I listened to you, I felt the spirit that carried your words.
Yeah.
And I loved it, because I saw this is the teacher I love.
Yeah.
It was like
you
that.
know what? I would love to do, I know we're going to get back into your background, but this is relevant. So what you've just described is something that I've seen in my own life, which we'll talk about in my career, but I see speakers, someone gets an inspiration, they have an idea, or they have a message, and they develop their speaker skills. So they start off on one end of the spectrum. Like you said, they have to learn the techniques and get over the fear and learn how to project and how to move on stage and body language. So there's the mechanics, right? The mechanics, the ins and outs, the nuts and bolts. But then we move into being what I consider a captivating speaker, someone who really engages the audience. And it's not just a good speech. It's like, wow, it moves us, it inspires us. But what you're describing, and what I've been, really excited to share, is this next level. And that's the transformational teacher. And I'd love to hear from you how, your own career has developed it and how you're helping people. Because one of the distinctions, what you just described, is if I'm in the audience and a transformational speaker has come up, it's not about their words. It's not about their technique. It's about what you've described. It's the energy or vibration under the words that allows me to see myself, or as you said, meet myself. But we're meeting that best version of ourself, or that most tender, vulnerable portion of ourself. And when we recognize our true self, we feel home, we feel love, we feel transformed, right?
Exactly. So actually, as I see it, there is 4 stages in a speaker's development. The first is the calling. You feel the calling. I want to share. So sometimes you don't even know what you want to share, but you just have this. You feel the purpose. I want to help people. I want to share something. You might have had some experience or some knowledge, something that can change the world for somebody. Maybe you're in a party, or you go on the street and you see people and you see them and you feel that if you knew what I know, your life would be better, or your business would be better, or your relationship would be better. So you feel the urge to share. That's a calling. It's the first stage. And then now you need to kind of structure your message, to find your message, to put it together into something that is possible to understand for people, or so they might be able to get a new perspective. And then what we talk about now, and there are so many teachers, it's so easy to stay there and to work with your content always. And people say, I've written this book, I have no idea how I can put all this into a presentation. No, but you're not supposed to do that, because a presentation is for example, a keynote presentation is a window. You open a window into a new possibility for people. It's not a course, it's not a seminar, it's not about all the content, it's about the new perspective. But then you feel, so you might be skilled in making a good presentation. You can structure everything, and you might do PowerPoint, you might do flip charts, I don't care, but you can structure your content. And then sometimes, as we talk about now, you see some people, they go on stage and people become so not impressed, but inspired. So
Yeah.
many speakers always strive to impress the audience. I tell them, your job is not to impress them, but to inspire them. So now we have a content that can change people's lives. Our job now is to evolve into inspirational speakers, so we can, when they leave us, they not only got a new perspective and some new knowledge, but they also got some new energy. So they know, I cannot wait to get home now and to start practicing this, to start implementing this in my life so things can change. So that's it. You know, people go home and they feel, okay, now I'm ready. Now I can do it. So, you know, there is so much content. So just a few years ago, if you had some special knowledge, you're very special, and it was, wow, you have something. But today, it's so easy. It's in our pocket. We pull up our cell phone and we can go online to the World Library, Google, and find everything. So knowledge or information is not as valuable as it was before.
Right.
Then we know if something new should happen in our life, we need to have a new energy so we can implement the knowledge. I remember once I'd read about green tea. If you drink green tea, there's so many benefits. Even your DNA will be younger after a while. If you drink green tea, if you replace your coffee with green tea, it has so many health benefits. Even if you replace half of your coffee every day with green tea. But I've read that, and I still drank my coffee, right? So I had the information, but then I met an American speaker, and his energy and the way he made a new perspective.
Yeah.
And he told me, you can do this. I went home from US, and the first thing when I arrived in Denmark, I jumped into a shop and I bought 2 bags of green tea, because now I was ready to do something.
Yeah.
You know, I still love green tea and I still drink coffee, but you know, I changed that day because I not only had the information, but I was inspired to do something. And you know, nothing happens without new actions in our lives. So that's the third level, that we evolve into a speaker that can create enthusiasm, create energy, that people can find their inner strength, so they can see that I can do this. But there is also a fourth level, and you know, that's where the true transformational masters evolve.
Yeah.
And I can tell you a story about that. I was in San Francisco, sitting in an audience. I think it was 800 people, and then Wayne Dyer came on stage.
Mm-hmm.
You probably know Wayne Dyer,
Yes,
right?
of course.
Yeah, this old man, so wonderful teacher. And he was like, there was no, in terms of speaker techniques, he was like barefoot on stage, not an expensive suit. His gestures was like, you could, if you only saw his body movements and the way he spoke, you would say he was maybe a boring speaker, because I would guess that he knew all the techniques, but he was at a stage where he was on stage, on the stage, just speaking to them from his heart.
Yeah.
It was like a magical atmosphere, like a field of energy in the room.
Yeah.
And then I had my buddy with me, and I saw a tear on his face, and I just saw that. And at the end of his presentation, he was standing, looking out at the audience while Amazing Grace was playing at the speakers.
Yeah.
So he didn't say anything. Amazing Grace. At the end of the presentation, he just repeated the lines, I once was blind, but now I see.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like this extraordinary powerful, peaceful presence and silence in the room. So then later I talked with my friend, and he's told me, Steinar, I must tell you, something happened while he was speaking. I think a forgiveness to my dad just happened.
Oh, wow.
So, you know, a lot of teachers can talk about forgiveness, and you can be really inspired to go home and forgive and talk to people. And you can even feel the energy. I want to go home and do something. This bitterness has kept me stuck for so long time, and now I want to be free. So I'm so encouraged now. I want to go home and forgive. That's also really good, and it's a kind of transformational teaching. So for the first stage is you can listen and think, oh, it makes sense that I might want to forgive now. That's the first stage, right? You get some new inspiration, new information. The next is I feel that I want to go home and forgive. But at this level, it's something transcended while he was speaking. And that's the ultimate goal for teachers, that you can become so powerful that not only you encourage people and inspire them, but you you kind of heal them with your words, or not you or me, but the source does, the vibration does. So it was only not Wayne Dyer. He could talk about forgiveness, it could make sense, he could inspire people, they could go home and give. But when he talked, forgiveness happened.
Yes.
So powerful. And I think that's for all of us the ultimate goal as teachers.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
We have that in common. And so I'd love to jump in here and talk about the energy and the vibration, because I thought I was weird or, I don't know, different, because I will go into a space where I'm giving a talk or a workshop, and I will set the intention, practice some qigong and meditation in the space to set the tone and the energy so that, you know, people get what they came for, the transformation. And I have my own practice that I work with clients to get our own energy in the right space so that, you know, we're present, we are able to get little downloads. Because as you've pointed out, sometimes it doesn't need to be the perfect speech. Sometimes you need to deliver just what they need. So I want to talk about your methodology, because you've become known for it, you know, with the power of the heart. And I know that you're on your way to meet up with Baptiste de Pape, who also talks about the power of the heart and did that beautiful documentary. So this heart resonance within us and then creating an energy for the people in the audience is part of your specialty. So let's dive in there, because I think when we talk about energy and vibration and the source, then what we're teaching people, or what I like to teach people, is I am not the healer. The source, and getting the person who's receiving, their whole body can heal itself when they're in the right energy space. We just become a vessel or a vehicle. So teach us, Steinar.
Absolutely. Yeah, but you're perfectly right. And you know, I think there's like two aspects here, or two things we need to know. The first thing is that what we see becomes reality. And if we meet people and we can see beyond what we see with our eyes, you know, if we can see with the eyes of our heart, the eyes behind our eyes, and hear with the ears behind our ears. So most people, we are pretty skilled in judgment. So some in the spiritual world, we say we scan people, but the reality is often it's so easy to judge people. We see the look, we see the hair and the height and the weight, and we see everything. We see the clothes, and then we have a lot of judgments. But if we could meet with an open heart, we would be able to see the infinite potential in every human being. And that's the first step. If I, as a speaker, cannot see that in my audience, how could they ever see it in themselves? It starts with me as a teacher. So when I meet people, I'm very, I think that's the first, it's like something I must do. I must open the eyes of my heart, so I'm able to see who they really are, their pure intentions. You know, some people, maybe take in health, for example, some people have tried like 15 different diets during a lot of years, and they fail every time. And now they come with so sparkling eyes, sparking their eyes, and saying, I've just found this new diet. And some people say, oh no, not again. And they actually, what they see is a failure. You always fail. But it's also possible to see that person and see, this is somebody who never gives up. This is somebody who stands up again and is willing to try yet another time, even if the last 15 times it didn't work. So I think we must open our heart and try to see people. I think if you look at one of the greatest teachers during history, Jesus Christ, you'll see he passed people, and there is a story, and you can see you don't have to be religious to understand this story. You know, there's a story. There was a little water pool of water, and the legend said every once in a year there will come an angel down to that water, and the first and kind of steer a little bit in the water, and the first one to jump into the water would be healed. There are always a lot of people there around this little pool trying to be the first.
Right.
And then there was this guy. He had not been able to walk for 30 years. He was paralyzed. So you think, lying down he's been at the poolside for 30 years, but every time the angel came, he was the last one into the pool, of course, because he couldn't walk. And then Jesus Christ came past him, and he looked at him and said, do you want to be healed? And he looked at this guy, and he said, are you stupid? I'm still here. You know, I've been here for 30 years, and you ask if I want to be healed. Yes, I never give up. And then the master teacher looked at him and he said, okay, then stand up on your feet and walk. Take your bed and walk. And the teacher, Jesus Christ, he was able to see what people couldn't see. He was able to see a soul so powerful that he could, if he wanted to, step up on his feet and walk. And when he saw that, he recognized, the paralyzed man recognized those forces and powers within himself. And he stood up on his feet, took his bed, and walked away. And I think all the great transformational teachers are really great seers. They're able to see potential where other people cannot see. They're able to see a magnificent soul where other people see a tired person.
Yes.
Right? And if we could do that, that's the first start, because then we meet soul to soul. And what we can see would spark or ignite this spark in people, so they can reconnect with their own power. I think that's very powerful.
Yes, I agree 100%. I just, as you know, I just dropped someone off at the airport, and she's part of one of our group programs. And when they arrived in France on the very first day of our boot camp, each of them got to share a vision of the future. And I asked everyone in the room to see that vision of that person living at their best, speaking and performing at their best. And I said, and from here on out, anytime you see their name come up on your phone or in an email, hold the vision. Always hold the highest vision of the people in front of you. And when we do see, like you said, if we see from the eyes behind the eyes of the soul, then you see us in our perfect, true, authentic self. And then we inspire people to live into that. So I love the way you've described that. That's beautiful.
I think that the big healers, they are really big, great seers. They can see things, and when they see, they create, they recognize a reality, and that reality appears for other people also. And so that's a very beautiful practice you have there. And there is one more thing, one practice that I have, and I share with people, because I think, sometimes what we talk about now, some people, they intuitively, or maybe as a result of their own soul journey, recognizing themselves and their own power, they see this in other people. But as a speaker, we also need to be conscious that when we meet people, it's a meeting on different levels. It's not only the outer experience, the words, the visuals and the PowerPoints and the structure. It is an energetic meeting also.
Yeah.
So we and when we're conscious about that, we can do things. So one thing is to make sure that we have a pure and good energy. So for example, I've had some speakers, and I see they drink a lot of coffee and throw in a lot of sweets to get energized and feel. But sugar don't give you a pure energy, or coffee. It might help you feeling a little bit energized, but then after a while you're exhausted, and then you need to either suck the energy from the audience, or you need to have a refill.
Yeah.
So I think that's important to take care of your physical energy. And then one thing I've experienced that is so powerful, and I want to share that practice, is to take your audience into your heart before you go on stage.
Ooh.
So what I do, sometimes you have like just a few seconds, you might arrive to the place, and you have to go on stage very quick. So then you can stop just for a few questions. If you're back behind the stage, you can just feel it. If you're in the back end of the room, you can look at the room, but take them into your heart. Feel like you expand your heart to take in everybody in the room, and maybe say it as a mantra: I take you into my heart. So that's very powerful, because you might meet people who are skeptical, or maybe have some difficult questions. They raise their hand and say, hey, I don't agree with this. And then if you're taking them into your heart, you feel love for them.
Yeah.
So if you have time, when I have my own seminars, even if I have hundreds of people, so I shared this at my last speaker seminar, or this was actually not my last one, but the one before. I think I had 250 people for 3 days, and every morning I had maybe 30 minutes on stage. I brought a chair to the stage, and I looked at every chair in the room, and I stayed, because I just looked at the chair, and I thought for myself, okay, a person will sit on this chair. So I said to him, I give thanks for you today, and I take you into my heart, and I pray that I might give you something that you need today. And I did that for 250 chairs or people.
Wow.
And when they came into the room, they could feel that. It's impossible to go on stage and you have a heart connection. You can't avoid to have a heart connection with everybody, even also the people who might be a little bit skeptical, because you have a big audience. There will be some people who are not that enthusiastic maybe in the beginning, but now they're in your heart, and even if they should be negative to you, they have no power. They cannot dig themselves out of your heart. So it's very powerful, and I shared that with my audience, and they tried to do the same. And you will feel this expanded heart, feel the grace, and it's like a highway between hearts when you do that. It's something people feel on an energetic level. Some people feel it. They just know. They can feel it immediately. Other people cannot. They cannot articulate the sense they have, but they know
Right.
there is something.
Yeah.
You know, and I would recommend everybody to take that time. Some people I've seen they can use 10 minutes to jump up and down and be energetic and do karate movements to get in shape before they go on stage. I prefer any time to open my heart. The other thing is good, but open your heart. You can, you get this transcendent vibration.
Yeah.
If you want to go that way, but then miracles can happen.
Yes. And
Truly,
I think,
truly.
you know, at least for my tribe, I know that my people believe that we can be miraculous change makers, light workers, healers. And so getting into this space of recognizing, like I said, I thought I was weird, but now I've met so many other people who do set the energy and intention, because we as healers can just show up. We almost don't have to do anything if we're emitting that pure vibration of love and acceptance.
Yeah.
One of the things I think is so valuable about this kind of a conversation, and you and I talked about this before, many people who are on this journey will find workshops on presentation skills. I do a workshop on storytelling and how to do, you know, content creation. But there are very few mentors and teachers who can help people get into this other space to really dive into the transformational space, because there's two elements there. There's the deep work that we have to do within ourselves to be fully open and ready as a vessel, and then there's the magic that can happen in a group dynamic. And so one of the things that you shared with me that I just love is a vision for transformational teachers to come together, one for community, because once you get to a certain level, you kind of feel like you're missing it, right? So because if we're teaching, sometimes we're teaching people who are really stuck and they have problems. But when we are the transformational teacher, where do we go for community? Where do we go to get inspired and get to that next level? So I'd love it if you would talk to us about this beautiful experience that you've created. This time around, it's going to be in Alicante, in Spain. Tell me about the vision, and then tell me how we can take advantage of this experience.
So I would love to. And you know, last year I did a seminar together with one of our common mutual friends, Michael Beckwith from Agape International Spiritual Center in LA. He's this wonderful, wonderful teacher. He was with me at my Heart Power Experience seminar in Copenhagen. And then he had a few days in Europe, and they asked me, what could we do? And then I thought, okay, I have this vision. We might start it now, and it's to gather the transformational teachers in Europe, the leaders, the thought leaders, and teachers who aspire to evolve into transformational teachers. And he loved the idea. So he came with me, and we did this seminar. People from 10 different countries in Europe came to Alicante, and we had 3 days together, and we do it again this year. And you are one of the teachers there, and I have a lot of other people, which is awesome. People who transformational teachers have a global audience come to share their journey and what they have learned. My vision was that, you see, there are a lot of seminars. First of all, in Europe, we see something happening right now, because going a few years back, nobody knew who the teachers were in the other countries. If you live in UK, you didn't know who was the teachers in France across the borders. And if you live in France, who are the teachers in Germany, you probably have no idea. Because the language barrier, because French, they speak French, German speak German, and Spanish people, they speak Spanish. But now, people, because of the social media, they start following the heroes in English. They cannot wait for cinema or television to make voiceover. They follow on Snapchat, YouTube, and Facebook. So today it's a new generation speaking or at least understanding English. What will happen is within a few years, there will be so much more collaborations and partnerships across borders in Europe.
Yeah.
And I want people to come together and get to know each other and network heart to heart. Not only sharing business cards and doing their usual elevator pitch and then go home with a list of new names. We have done that, but I think it's time to come and meet heart to heart and create deep relationships and maybe lifelong friendships, and it's possible. So last year, what we saw that was that after this event, people starting inviting each other to their conferences in other countries.
Yeah.
It's really beautiful. So that's one vision with this. Also, I wanted them to come and meet teachers who are really successful, transformational teachers who want to share their journey and share what they have learned along the way. And, you know, I'm blessed this time having people like you, people like Stig Severinsen, who is Discovery Channel named him as the superhuman, the ultimate superhuman in the whole world.
Yeah.
He can hold his breath for 22 minutes, and he can, only by his thoughts, he can lower his pulse rate into like 30 per minute and up to 120. It's like incredible. The scientists had never seen anything like him.
Yeah.
And he's also an expert on breathing. He teaches yogis, master yogis around the world on breathing. And then we have other people like probably the best Facebook marketer in the world. And he's coming to this event to share how you can get your message out to the world. And actually people like him, especially marketers, they used to go on stages and sell a whole lot of programs. He come this time just to share. And it's so beautiful. He just wants the transformational teachers to get their message out to the world. So he will come and share incredible, valuable tips and ideas on how to get your message out to thousands and thousands of people. There are other transformational teachers like Winfrey Dory, hugely successful British entrepreneur, and Minka Moritzen. She's probably the one in Scandinavia who has the most followers in health. And they will all come together with us and share their what they have learned. Incredible, valuable knowledge you will get to hear and be inspired, because we also need to see that we can evolve. I think the world, there's so many teachers today, and it's so easy to be kind of a little bit seduced to, you become a rock star. You're on stage, you're in the spotlight, you're 50 centimeters above the audience, right, and your ego has a great time on stage. But you know, what we're all longing for is the authentic meeting a heart, meeting somebody who was there to help me, and to help me making some change in my life.
Yeah,
as normal, I think that,
that's what inspired me to accept your gracious invitation to come and share. It's not about pitching anything from the stage. It's about us connecting and sharing our journey so that those people who want to do what we do and more, who want to lead spiritual transformation, I think the missing thing for me has always been providing a safe space for people to learn the personal journey, the sacrifices that we make becoming a quote unquote guru. And as I shared with you when we talked before, you know, for me, working in Hollywood with these big mega stars, you're really challenged, especially if you are a heart-based, you know, enlightened, conscious person. You know, there's all this temptation, and it's sometimes not even just temptation. It's just the industry can sort of force you to become competitive or egocentric. And so what really inspired me about your vision, and I instantly saw it, was, wow, this is a place for us to feel safe community, to share and to meet heart to heart but also to help inspire this next generation that they can become, superstars and still maintain their integrity and still be their authentic self, because that's where transformation happens. So I'm really excited about this event and your invitation. So let's talk about dates. Let's get practical.
I'm very excited that. Yeah, I'm so excited you will come and share your journey and your knowledge with us. I think so many people, as teachers, they start teaching because they feel called to share, and then you go on seminars. What I learned when I started, I wanted to share because I knew this can change somebody's lives. And what I learned was you need to entertain people. You need to create a performance state. If you will be the best, you'll make the greatest performance. But I don't think it's about a performance. I think it's about a meeting between hearts or souls.
Yeah.
I think it's not the biggest thing for me is not that they admire me and say, oh, he's so great on stage. Is that they got the sense of their own greatness while I was talking to them. And I think if your people who watch this, if you feel that you have something to share, you are called to become a transformation teacher, because that is what everybody wants to have in the future. I don't think you can create magnificent performances, you can create impressive speeches, but people want to feel themselves. And that's when you meet the transformation teacher. You come to Alicante, you'll meet those teachers and you'll be inspired, and you will get friends and become a part of a community and a movement today, because in the future, that is those people will be the people ask for and want to have on stage, because that's when people will give standing ovations in the future, not because they have laughed and you can feel like you're laughed so much that you're kind of you feel almost pain in your chin, but you're empty in your heart.
Yeah.
We don't want that. We want to meet people where we feel that we got something that
you get filled up in your heart.
Yeah, filled up in your heart. I think this event, like last year, will be a magical experience. We also, it's like magical environments. We'll have experiences that it's not sitting inside every day. We go out in Palm Tree Park to magical places together, and we'll have meditations on the beach, at the beach where St. Paul came into Spain first time, according to the legend. Wow. It's very, very special places. So I would love to have people, to invite them to come. It would be an unforgettable event, I'm sure.
Yes, well, I'm looking forward to it. So we're talking about, it's April. Give us the dates and a little bit of the itinerary. And you've been so gracious to extend to my audience some special ticket prices, so that price is not an issue, guys. You can be here with us.
These teachers you're going to meet, they are normally, if you go to my seminars, people pay €1,000, even more for the seminars. Go Stig Severins, he just had a few days and people paid $10,000 to be with him.
Wow.
And if you go to your events, all of these teachers have usually seminars that high level seminars. Also, it's a good investment to be a part of that. This time, I want people to be able to come. Now we're just a few weeks till the seminar, so it's April the 20th, starting Thursday morning, and then it ends on Saturday, the 22nd of April. So it's just 3 weeks from now on, or almost 3 weeks. And when we talked, and you said, I would love for some from my audience to come, for a short time. I said, because you come here and you share your knowledge, and I would love to have somebody. So we have put aside an amount of 10 tickets for the audience. No price now is 500 euros or 497 euros. That's the standard price for going to my webpage. If some from your audience want to join, we have reserved 10 tickets at your name for 125 euros. So
wow.
that's a little fraction of
Steinar,
the ticket
thank
price.
you. No, that's hugely
because
generous.
because if you sit here and feel I would love to be a part of this powerful event, you have a few weeks to come, and fortunately Alicante is pretty accessible from most parts of Europe, and it's not an expensive place, even if it's an awesome place. We have the event, but it's not very expensive, so it's very affordable. And then I just wanted to give you the ticket price for the cost per person, and it's 125 euros. So you actually save 375 euros on that ticket. But I would love to. So, but there's a limit on 10 tickets. So we need to put a link or an email address they can write to get that ticket.
Okay. So you will provide us with a link or an email. I'll put it in the show notes and in my email to the tribe. Thank you for that. So I have 10 of you peeps that can join me and Steinar and Stig and these other amazing people, including Jesse Dubeck, who's coming from America just for this event, not being paid to do so, but coming to share. So this is a great opportunity to connect with like-minded, heart-centered, soul-centered, enlightened entrepreneurs. Thank you, Steinar. This is a true gift. It really is.
I look forward to it, and it's been a blessing to talk with you. Every time I talk with Andrea, I feel it's a blessing, and your work in the world, it's a blessing, and you have shown an example of following your purpose, and I love you for that.
Oh, and I love you for all that you're doing. And I'm so grateful to Jesper Bergström, who introduced us while you were at Brendan Burchard's event via Facebook. I'm so grateful for the connection because it's people like you that are truly helping shape and mold the potential career for light workers so that we can truly have an inspired business that fulfills us and still makes money and fulfills our mission to serve more. So thank you, Steinar Ditlefsen. I appreciate you so very much.
Thank you so much, Andrea. It was a blessing to be with you again.
Great. So, ladies and gentlemen,
to see you in Alicante.
Yes, I look forward to seeing you in just a couple of weeks' time in Alicante, Spain. So until next time, everyone, just continue on your path. And remember, that message that's burning deep inside of you, there is an audience waiting for you to step into your power and share your gifts with the world.
Learn how to brand, market, and promote yourself in the global marketplace. Up-level your commitment to bring your heart and soul to your work. Enjoy an abundant lifestyle while sharing your authentic self with confidence and power.